The ultimate takeaway for operators is zero manual interventions and a fully automated system. So thank you all for attending this presentation. I'll try to be fast while comprehensible. We have a lot to tell you today. We're going to be talking today about turning price signals into smart energy strategies. So automated curtailment for a flexible grid. And I didn't want this to be just a theoretical presentation, so we'll be talking about an actual prototype that we rolled out in 40 systems in France, and I'll show you the results towards the end. Let's start with the problematic. So I'm trying to talk about the market in France. We have customers there who were first facing the issue of negative prices. I'm sure you all know about the challenges that operators, owners, traders are facing with negative prices. I don't have to tell you much about this. I do want to explain a little bit about the regulation. It started to be created towards the end of last year, but it has been changing during the first months of 2026. And with the problematic of rising hours of negative prices, the French regulator decided to put these assets in one of two regimes. Whether you're in a fitted premium, so you're being incentivized for not producing during negative hours, or you are in a fitted tariff, meaning that you are just having to comply with this and you have to curtail during negative crisis. No matter whether it's an incentive or it's an obligation, you need to do this. And if I were an installer, operator or trader, I hope I don't have to curtail during all these hours and perform all of these actions manually. So we thought, why not automate this? Just as an image so that you wrap your hands around the economical impact of this, we have some numbers about if we miss this compliance premium or the cost of reducing at negative prices, it's already way over 10,000 euros per megawatt per year. So an important financial problematic for these owners. So we thought, how do we automate this? We do know the prices for tomorrow around 2 p.m. depending on the market, and with that knowledge of the day ahead prices, we can decide when we need to curtail. So what our system does is the Cloud EMS is looking at these prices. It's creating a schedule that is then sent to the hardware on site to be executed during the day ahead, and therefore comply with this zero curtail. But we've opened this for flexibility because there's various use cases. There will be new use cases in the coming years. So we've allowed for flexibility in terms of being able to configure your own price thresholds, configure the time buffers before and after, ramp rates, set points, etc. And that's this is how it looks for a certain period where you could have a time of 30 minutes negative crisis. You see here, green is positive prices, red is negative prices, but you can set different thresholds where you want to ramp it down. So below €1 per megawatt hour is a good choice to start ramping down, and you choose when to ramp up. That doesn't have to be at zero. You need that flexibility, right? You also need flexibility in the time buffers because you maybe need to comply with the zero feeding during the whole period. Therefore, you can set the thresholds to start ramping down 5 minutes before the period and start ramping up after, for example, 3 minutes. So this flexibility, makes our product a planning and not a reacting tool. So it's not just looking at the prices, it's enabling you to tweak the parameters with which you want to create the schedules and the plannings for the day ahead. And for the importance of the verticality of this solution, so from cloud to on-site, it's important that the solution is reliable and that you can actually trust that these schedules are being applied. So it's not only about the planning, the logic at the cloud level, where we're looking at the prices, planning the algorithm, taking into account those configurations, but it's also about executing it. And that's why there's the importance of having a reliable hardware, which is certified and which you can rely on to act on the PV inverters, the batteries, the point of interconnection, wherever you need to apply these set points. So again, moving away from the product marketing I just want to stress the importance of the reliability and having this hardware certified wherever you need to use it. Now, to the results. As I said at the beginning, we rolled this out in a site in a fleet of 40 systems, and we counted for the past 3 months more than 3,000 curtailment events just in this fleet of 40 plants. So imagine you had to manage these 40 plants, or just half of them, so many manual actions that you have to take every day. A total of almost 10,000 scheduled hours. And you see in the chart how there's a relationship between the number of curtailments, which is in yellow, the yellow bars, and the lower average prices, which is the dark blue line. It's also interesting to see the results, how it's not always the zero threshold that's important, as I mentioned before. These are the prices during the times of set points that were experienced, and this can go down to even minus 60 euros per megawatt hour. So imagine be producing at this price. I think we all agree we don't like to pay for working. Actually, we expect the opposite. So it's important that we don't do that. We don't produce and feeding during these times. But it's interesting to see this distribution as well during the day. As you could imagine, it's mainly during the peak irradiance hours that these curtailments are happening. So we're proving this, looking at the results. And lastly, I just want you to feel in the shoes of an operator that just has one site of 1 megawatt in fracs connected to the grid. If you were responsible for executing these curtailments, only in the last 3 months you would have had to execute 250 manual actions. That's more than 3 actions per day, and you'd have to be looking at the market price. Yes, you can prepare with 1 day in advance, but you'd just be waiting for that moment when you have to manually curtail the plant. With this solution, you can relieve yourself from that effort and scale up your operations on a full fleet by doing it automatically. The ultimate takeaway for operators is 0 manual interventions and a fully automated system, bulletproof for negative prices. And just to finish, what's coming in the future for us, it was important to build this infrastructure to be able to comply with the use cases that we saw in the French market. But we know that this problematic is also real in Germany, Spain, many other countries. Actually, I had a customer from Italy. They don't allow negative prices yet, but they also have 0 prices. So they don't want to be producing waiting when they can profit from it. So this will be rolled out throughout Europe. We've also opened the solution with an open API so that you can input your schedules. It's not just us which are building the logics. You can do it yourself or get someone to do it for you, but then introduce the schedules in the system. And of course, we will be increasing the number of use cases that we can cover with this, especially for value stacking, participating in different markets, intraday balancing, etc. And at some point, energy shifting, peak shaving, so putting this all together in batteries. That's it for me. Thank you all for listening.